On the 8th of the Jewish month of Ab, in late July 70 AD, Titus, the son of the Roman Emperor Vespasian, who was in command of the 4-month siege of Jerusalem, ordered his entire army to prepare to storm the temple at dawn. A total of 60,000 Roman legionaries and local auxiliaries were eager to deliver the final blow to the defiant but broken city. Within the walls, 500,000 starving Jews survived in diabolical conditions. Some were fanatical religious zealots, some were freebooting bandits, but most were innocent families with no escape from this magnificent death trap. This final desperate struggle would decide not only the fate of the city and her inhabitants. The Romans had built ramps up against the walls of the temple, but their assaults had failed. Titus told his generals that his efforts to preserve this foreign temple were costing him too many soldiers, and he ordered the temple gates set alight. The silver of the gates melted and spread the fire to the wooden doorways, windows, and fittings within, thence to wood piled in the passageways of the temple itself. Titus ordered the fire to be quenched. The Romans, he declared, should not avenge themselves on inanimate objects instead of men. Then he retired for the night into his headquarters in the half-ruined Tower of Antonia, overlooking the resplendent temple complex. Around the city walls, there were gruesome scenes that must have resembled hell on earth. In the preceding months, Titus had ordered all prisoners or defectors to be crucified. 500 Jews were crucified each day. The Mount of Olives and the craggy hills around the city were so crowded with crucifixes that there was scarcely room for any more, nor trees to make them. Thousands of bodies putrefied in the sun, and the stench was unbearable. Dogs and jackals feasted in packs. Many Jerusalemites, as they escaped, swallowed their coins to conceal their treasure. They emerged, swelled like men with dropsy, but if they ate, they burst asunder. As their bellies exploded, the soldiers discovered their reeking intestinal treasure troves, so they started eviscerating all prisoners while they were still alive. Titus tried to ban these anatomical plunderings, but the cruelties inflicted by the Romans and the rebels within the walls compare with some of the worst atrocities of the 20th century.
All right, shalom, shalom. Peace, Israel. It's Brother Zaquan from Prophets in Babylon Camp down here in Tampa, Florida. I'd like to give our glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone who teach you with wealth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful and scattered abroad. And as you can probably see from the intro video, we got short and simple. I'm gonna get right into it. We're about to go into the falling away in 70 AD, the siege of Jerusalem. Where Titus led the army led by Titus, sieged Jerusalem. The Romans, and we're basically gonna get into it. We're gonna start at Matthew 24:15. It says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand." All right, and the abomination of desolation, this is going into Jerusalem, because Jerusalem was about to get sieged, and as I said before, it was an army led by Titus to siege Jerusalem. No people could come in or out. No food was able to come in or out. There were no trades available. People were starving. People were eating their children. But it was getting bad out there. And it was gonna get so bad. That's why the Lord went on to say this. He said, Matthew 24:16 says, Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. All right, and it's going into the west shores of Africa. All right, that's where the Lord commanded us to flee to. Because Jerusalem, our homeland, was being sieged. It was under attack, and then the Lord told us to flee to the west shores of Africa. That's into the wilderness. Well, into the mountains. Slip of the tongue. It's the mountains. But And that's also how our people got there. And we were sold. Obviously, later on, we got sold into our enemies. You know, we were in the west shores of Africa. You know, obviously we were sold. You know, we came over here to Babylon, but you know that's how, you know, we got to Africa. You know, people say, "Oh, you guys are Africans," you know, and that just goes to prove right there, to show you that we're not Africans, because the Lord commanded us to flee into the mountains, which were the west shores of Africa. That's how we got there, because our land was being sieged, it was being under attack. All right, so you know that cause that. But continuing on, you know, we're gonna jump to Luke 21:20. Says, "And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh." All right, because you know the Romans, they were surrounding Jerusalem. You know, Jerusalem was compassed with armies. You know, they were surrounded by armies. All right, the Lord said, "Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh." So the Lord was warning us. Then it goes on to say, Luke 21:21, "Then let them which be Salakia, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. And let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto." You know, so nobody was able to go in or out. You know, like I said, everything was shut off. You know, nothing was able to come in or out. You know, food, there was no trade. You know, that's why people were in there starving. You know, some people were going through it so much, they went so far as, you know, to eating their children. You know, that was likened unto hell at the time. You know, it says, "And let them, Salakia, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto." You know, so this was prophesied to happen. It says, Luke 21:22, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled." These be the day of vengeance. You know, so the Lord was recompensing unto them. You know, the Lord was recompensing unto His people. You know, for according to their wicked ways. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump to Ezekiel. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto the land of Israel, the end is come upon the four corners of the land. All right, so the Lord was already warning us and letting us know. It says, Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. All right, so the Lord was coming with a reward, you know, and the Lord was going to reward you according to your ways. The Lord is about to, the Lord, and He said this, you know, this was the proving that Yahweh Shem Yahshua is serious about what He said. Ezekiel 7 and 4, "And mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity." So the Lord was showing no remorse. It says, "But I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord." All right, so the Lord said He's not about to spare anybody. The Lord is not about to spare anybody. And He said He's going to recompense unto you, you know, "And thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord." But the Lord said He's going to recompense thy ways upon thee. All right, so whatever you're doing at the time, you know, the Lord recompensed that unto you. And obviously Jacob had to been wicked, because there was families eating their children, you know, because there was no food coming in. There was no food going in or out, you know. So families were left with the only option, with the only way they knew how to survive, you know. Then when they go eating children, you know, and the Lord, the Lord had that happen, you know, that was already ordained. But it says, "And ye shall know that I am the Lord." All right. "And thus said the Lord Yahweh, and evil and only evil, behold, is come. And end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. It says, The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains." All right. So the Lord had already been warning us that this day was approaching. You know, the Lord was already letting us know that this day was approaching. And we're gonna jump to Daniel 11 and 31. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 11 and verse 31. "And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength." All right, that was our strength. "And they shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that make it desolate." All right, you know, the Romans went in and they defied our temple. You know, only the priests of the nation of Israel were ordained to be in there. All right, and the priests going into Levi, which would be the Haitians, known as the Haitians today. You know, those are the priests, and those are the ones who were anointed to be in the temple. You know, even heathens, the heathens that went in there, them even stepping foot in there was, they already defiled our temple. Then, you know, they defiled it, you know, they destroyed our temple. You know, they had pig's blood in there and stuff, you know. These devils, them, even their presence of being in our temple, they defiled that, man. They made our temple desolate. That was our literal, that's like a phone booth to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That was literally the way we contacted the Lord. That was a phone booth to the Lord. All right, and they made that desolate. It says, they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength. That was our sanctuary of strength. These heathens polluted that. And they shall take away the daily sacrifice. That was the way we were able to make sacrifices to the Lord, communicate to the Lord, and atone for all the sins that we did. But the reason the Lord brought this destruction upon it was because Jake was abusing that. All right, you know, you could be, you know, as an example, you know, you could be thinking about another man's wife in your head all day, fantasizing, you know, then you're gonna make a sacrifice to the Lord. You know, the Lord, you know, it'll be forgiven. You know, the point was, you know, Jake was out here giving up unworthy sacrifices, and the Lord was about to recompense unto them for their abominations. All right, you know, and that's just. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is just, and the Lord he also warned us. It says, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. All right, even these heathens, you know, these heathens just stepping foot in there, that defiled our whole temple, because only the Levites were supposed to be in there, man. You know. But I would just want, you know, get straight to the point, you know, and get to this, you know. And this is the patience, you know, and the patience of the saints, you know, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to recompense also onto these Edomites for what they've done to us. They made us desolate, you know. This is the first falling away where our people, they fell away from who we were. You know, we fell away from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Quickly, I'm going to grab this, Revelation 13:10. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right. This is the patience and the faith the faith of the saints. You know, obviously we believe Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to recompense unto these devils all the trouble and the tribulation that they put us through. You know, and he's going to fill their cup double. And we understand that. But we also understand that we went through everything that we went through because we fell away from the Lord. All right. Went into serving false idols, you know. So the Lord calls us to flee into the west shores of Africa, and there, you know, we were sold. You know, those Hamites, and then, you know, the Hamites, you know, they sold us. And then the Edomites got us on them slave ships. You know, obviously we know it's history from there. But you know, wanted to get straight to the point, you know, and hit the mark, you know. But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who teach you with woe. Peace and salutations to the hopeful less scattered abroad. Till next time, I do say shalom and a baba ball. Soon.